Amazing INFJs and INFPs. It's Merja here, tuning in from the writing bubble. It's good to see you all here. Thank you for joining me on this Facebook Live. Facebook Love, yeah, that's accurate. Welcome to this Facebook Live. It's so great to share this space with you today. So we have some amazing questions come in, and I am super excited to get into it. So the first question is, I have been working for a company for 10 years and their mission and vision have changed in the last month. It no longer fits me as a person. We, the employees, were not consulted. The finished version was sent to us as an email as a fait accompli. Management has taken this on board, but no feedback has been asked for. Everything around me is changing. I want to leave and get another job, but in my field it takes time. It may take some time. How can I get my head around this in the meantime? My friend at work, who is an INFJ, has also been having a difficult time. I'm an INFP. This is a great question. So there's a couple of things there that I want to address. And the very first thing is that one of the worst things for INFPs and INFJs too is for somebody to enforce change in their lives without taking them into consideration or asking them how they're feeling. So I'm sorry you're having a really hard time with this. This is so hard, and this is not an uncommon situation. So I hear you. As a business owner myself, and as a person who's had a lot of INFJs and INFPs employed, and being an INFJ myself, and surrounding myself with INF types in general, I can tell you how I would have dealt with this, and it would have been along the lines of, here's what I am thinking about going into this direction. I'm sure there are some things that I'm not seeing right now that I might need to see in relation to my decision. And would you like to give me your opinions or reflections or your kind of intuitive wisdom around this, and how we can make this work for everyone. So that's how I would have dealt with that situation. Now, that's not normal. That is not the norm. The norm is that changes come in companies because the leadership decides that something has to change, and the leadership makes the decision without the employees. Now, depending on how big the company is, it can be impossible to ask for every person for feedback. But if it's a smaller company, say less than 20 to 50 people, then you certainly could use, if you were an intelligent leader, you would take your subordinates thoughts into consideration, because nothing is more expensive in business than hiring. And so if you make arbitrary decisions about other people's careers without talking to them about it, and then you lose some of those people, those good people, then that was just poor leadership. That was just a really bad decision to make overall. So it doesn't make sense to me from a compassion level, but it also makes no sense to me from a level of effectiveness. If you really want to have an effective business, you don't want to alienate your workforce, because they are the people who are keeping you going, and also they are training in new people is very costly. So The other side of that coin is that they are in charge and they don't actually have to check in with you about how you feel about it. I don't think it's a good idea to do it that way, but there is nothing that holds them. So if they're not naturally considerate people, there is nothing to kind of make them do that by law. So whilst it might be the right thing to do and the most effective thing to do, that doesn't mean that people still do it. And that is the sad news about being employed by a company that you don't own, because you don't get to make those decisions. I learned really early in life that I am not a good employee for this exact reason. Not necessarily because I felt like I knew better or that I should be considered in everything, but I realized that I don't have the power to make those decisions, and I wanted to have the power. I didn't want to be, having the childhood that I had, I didn't want to be at the mercy of other people's whims when it came to my career, my vocational life. So really the only way that you can have full control over your own working conditions is to work for yourself, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how entrepreneurial you are. But that kind of feels like it's a different question. To go back to your question, how can you get your head around it in this time? Just understanding that people, they don't actually have to check in on you, but also understanding that you're not crazy. It's not the right thing to do to change those things. It's not, without consultation, it's not the right thing to do, or it's not the most effective thing to do it like that. So you're not crazy. Okay? Just excuse me for a moment. Oh, excuse me. Oh, apologies for that. Yeah, so it's not, it's not the right thing to do, in my opinion, according to my values, and it's also not the most effective way to be dealing with it, but it can happen, and it does happen, and knowing that you are an employee and being an employee comes with certain risk. There's talk about, if you have a sound job, if you have a job that, like a government position or a job in another company, if you get a job with a good company that your finances are set for life, but no other time really in the world, I don't think it's been as bad for employees as it is right now, because most people don't have any power over whether they have a job in a month's time or not. So the only way really to be in full control of your own vocational needs is to make sure that you are, in fact, building your own business. So if you want an exit strategy from this current position, then what I recommend that you do is that you start looking for a new job. So start looking around in your industry and seeing what might be available. And then also start bettering yourself in different areas. So make yourself the most palatable or the most desirable candidate for that job. So look at what's out there, look at what extra, in whatever extra kind of skills people might be looking for, and start really developing yourself, developing those skills. And if you want more, information on this, or you're interested in starting to explore maybe your own purpose path, then just get in touch with us at desk@infxproject.com, and we'll put you in touch with some resources that can help you with that. So I hope that helps you. I know it's probably not exactly what you wanted to hear, but I hope that helps, and I hope that you are able to navigate this challenging time in a way that's authentic to you. All right, thanks for that question. That was a great question.